That's it. I'm growing a beard this week.
Thank you. Time back on. That's Ruffcraft, big boy.
Gus and Gawny, episode
35.
35. It's a very exciting day for us. Long time in the making.
Isn't it? And not without controversy to get to this point.
Well, we were strong that it's a one invite type setup.
Yeah, there's a bridge, and unless your name's Ed Langdon, who's burnt the bridge many times, I think he's the exception to the rule.
What episode are we on?
35.
He's been invited 34 times.
Yeah, he was very early on in the piece and burnt the bridge. Everyone except for Ed Langdon gets one chance.
Yep.
And obviously everyone will know we got Luke Jackson on.
Welcome, Jacko.
Dogga, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You've obviously heard great things.
Yeah.
We're really excited to have you. What we're going to do to start is we're going to talk the week that was. That's normally how we start the podcast.
Yep.
And then we'll get into a little bit of Luke Jackson.
Sure.
But you can join us on the talking about the week that was. Started with a week in Perth. We had a podcast in Perth.
Yes, we did that.
Who's with Bailey Fritsch Electrical, which is behind us. Hopefully the cameras can see that. Tier 1 sponsors.
Tier 1 sponsors. You don't own a company, do you?
No.
No, not yet.
So, are you an entrepreneur type person?
I would love to own a cafe, I reckon.
I could see you in a cafe.
Career. Yeah.
You guys could get a cafe off the ground. The Ruckman's Cafe.
I'm leading
Dogga's
so
Cafe.
well.
Dogga's
Cafe.
Fancy writing.
You like the nickname Dogga, don't you? Better than Egg?
Yeah.
Yeah. Egg.
Scrap Egg, I reckon.
Egg was like a year 11, year 12 thing, wasn't it?
No one's called you Egg.
He comments Egg on my posts.
Yeah.
Does he?
Yeah, and I don't
Because I feel like it'll be like his friends will be like,
Oh, yeah. Gawny
and
calling him Egg.
yeah, they do that.
I thought so. West Coast.
Oh. Jeez.
That's an interesting game. I don't even want to talk about it.
What I will say, we have to talk about it, is, we could play, no matter what happens from here on in, we could play anywhere, in any situation, and we'll be so well, I believe we'll take a lot of confidence from that game, you know what I mean?
I've never been this close to you.
This is weird.
You are very, very close to me. For those that we're a camera short today on the podcast.
Are we actually? That's what happened.
Yeah, we're camera short, so me and Gus are sharing our camera.
Yeah, we're
very close to each other.
But what was I saying? We'll take a lot of confidence from that game because every unexpected twist and turn happened. We still won, but a win's a win, and I think taking some confidence from that. That's as tough a game as we'll play mentally. I think for
people have asked me if I take any learnings from this game and what I would do differently if we had a half an hour layoff. I don't think we have to take any learnings.
Absolutely.
It's not going to happen again, is it?
Well, it shouldn't. And honestly, we wouldn't.
Twice.
Well, you could. That's a good saying.
Thank you.
You know what that one means?
Yeah, I'm good at my sayings. We'll get into that.
Jeez.
But we tried the approach to sort of not relax, but be calm and composed through that half an hour, not get in the circle and count down from 10 while jogging on the spot in a huddle, and trying to just not really give out too much energy,
it's very easy to get stressed and agitated in a situation like that.
And plus we warmed up and we were ready to go out, then we got told, no, another 10 minutes, and that could have prolonged for another hour, so we didn't know when we were really getting out. And I'm sure West Coast would have done the same thing, I'm not sure.
Exactly. So they're dealing with the same challenges we are, but it's...
we could have asked the game real early. Petraka had a shot at the first forward stoppage, and it went through for a point, and then Spargo played on thinking it was...
so it was like he got called play on when it wasn't.
But then he got called a mark. They got called touch in the air, he thought. So he played on, and then Sparrow missed the snap. So we got a chance to probably ice it nice and early, but we didn't.
And I missed the SETI.
Yeah, I did. I was going to bring that up.
That's the sort of integrity we like in our guests.
Yeah, you're a reliable set shot.
Yeah. Wind shifted it off my boot.
That was the windiest.
Yeah.
That was really windy that day as well.
I've got a positive.
I had a shot in the warm-up in front of mum and dad, 20 metres out, and shanked it.
Do you reckon it was because mum and dad were watching?
Off my boot.
Oh, it was the wind. It was the wind.
It was the wind. I saw you do a few warm-up kicks as well. Don't act like it didn't affect you.
They weren't great. And I had 2 set shots that both missed as well. I got a positive lingers later on about the wind as well, which would be good.
Okay.
Anything else regarding West Coast? We won. We were up by 30 points at 3/4 time.
Yeah. I mean, top 4 locked in.
Top 4 locked in. I think all 4 teams are locked in. Maybe.
Yeah, official. It's done.
Well, I don't think it's official. I think Brisbane can still technically, if they win both, smash it.
So
I think they can sneak in. But we got that draw. We got that draw that puts us ahead.
Yep.
People were podding us for drawings of Hawthorn, but hey, it's come in handy now.
Handy draw.
I think a win would have been handy as well. We would have been a win clear, but hey, the draw's handy as well. And we're back from Perth. I was so mentally fatigued after the game.
I think I'm still mentally fatigued. I'm tired still.
Dog, I don't like Perth.
I love it.
I know you love it.
Yeah.
The weather was crazy.
Yeah.
Like the last 3 days of our
Perth always has that shift. It's hot and then it will just go rainy.
Do you know why that is?
It's always like that. Nah.
You've never heard of the Fremantle Doctor?
Nah.
You've lived in Perth your whole life. You don't know the trade wind that comes in off the sea around 3 p.m. every day. Gee whiz.
What's it called? The Fremantle Doctor.
Freo Doctor. Because it's just what the doctor ordered.
Did they miss a chance calling their team the Fremantle Doctors?
Geez. Well, I mean, look, they could have. They certainly could have.
Instead, they're the Fremantle Dockers. I'm presuming they're it's a docking town?
Big shipping port. Yeah, so I'm surprised you've never heard of that.
Is that why they call it Dockers?
Yeah, because
the docks.
The docks.
Yeah, I'm presuming. And
Yeah,
they
yeah.
got an anchor as their emblem.
Yeah, it's a boat-related thing.
Yeah.
You didn't know that either?
Nah.
Hey, we're learning stuff today.
One thing I did like about the game is we got to use Fremantle's change rooms.
Yeah.
They have got a pretty good setup, I must say. That's a pretty good stadium.
Yeah.
And Andrew was everywhere.
He was a poster child.
There was a lot of Andrew Brayshaw.
There certainly was.
Is he their big ASA marketing dog? It seems like it.
Feels like, he's up there amongst the names of people like Fife.
Sean McManus.
Matt Pavlich.
Matt Pavlich.
Crazy stuff.
Hayden Ballantyne.
McFarlane
was up there. I
McFarlane.
did see Lukey McFarlane up on the walls.
Barramundi.
Barramundi, yeah. Barramundi.
Barra was up there.
He's almost one of my all-time favourite players.
That's my all-time favourite.
Is he?
I've got a funny story, but it's not funny enough to tell on this podcast, and it takes up way too much time, so I'm not going to do it. But afterwards, we'll have a conversation about Matt Pavlich.
I feel like, we won't do it now, but I feel like if it's
saying.
good, we'll give you a chance to say it on next week's.
I'm telling you, I know it won't be. Dogga, I've got a question for you about the game.
Okay, so we're going to Dogga, or we're still on game? Oh, we're the crossover. This is good. Well done. Great
Just
podcasting.
segueing it.
Great podcasting.
Now, there was an infamous video of you and Nick Nat Nui driving around.
Oh, isn't it a great video?
Yeah. So, I'm not going to go into that. There's much to say that he's an idol of yours growing up, and you played on him on the weekend. How that...
I dared him to say something to him, but I don't think he did.
Did you say it? What was it?
Nah,
I dared him to go up to Nick Nat while I was in the sort of picture and say, "You're not my idol anymore. Gawny is." I don't think it happened.
There was a perfect chance as well.
Oh, was there?
I blew it.
Oh.
Well, how'd you find it? How'd you find it?
Nah, it was like, I don't really know how to describe it. It was just surreal.
Yeah.
Like, I never thought I'd actually play against like Nick Nat or even you at training and that. So,
I still find it surreal playing Nick Nat. He's such an imposing threat, and I knew me and him having a good battle throughout the game. I sort of had a good third quarter, and I knew as soon as we went into that lightning half an hour that he's going to have a half an hour rest, and he is going to be coming out absolutely guns blazing. And I'm like, I'm going to be back against it here. And he took a mark on me in their 50 and kicked a goal, and his ruck work was good. I set Jacko in there because he was killing me at one point, and I think he got a hold of you. He's an incredible player, Nick Nat, and I'm with Jacko. I was in awe as well.
Yeah, well, I thought I'd ask you about that because I remember that video. And 36 tickets.
36 tickets
is how many you got.
Yeah.
So how does
about
that...
30 family, 6 good mates. So
Okay, you got 30 family.
That's how you broke it down. 30 family.
Yeah.
Wow.
So mum, I think Richo might have sent mum tickets, and mum just gave them straight away.
Disperse them.
What are we talking like? Third cousins and stuff?
Uncles, aunties.
Yeah.
How many uncles and 30?
I have a lot of uncles and
15.
aunties. So
About 15
yeah.
15 uncles.
brothers,
inside.
partners, and
Yeah, right.
There you go.
And a partner of yourself, or
nah.
no? Just six.
Are we sure about that?
Too early right now.
Too early in the piece.
Just 6 friends.
Yeah.
Don't have any.
Yeah.
Don't have any news to break on the podcast about that.
Nah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
You've been
No.
searching in Melbourne, or
Maybe.
Hey, there's a international man of mystery, Gawny. Never kisses and tells.
all right. Let's talk Jacko.
Because
I feel like we need to give a good 20 minutes to Luke. He's the rising star favourite.
Yeah, that's
Pretty much the only ruckman you can
lock, I
select
would've
in the
thought.
22 under 22. I don't know. Is there another ruckman you can select?
Allen.
Oscar Allen.
Yeah.
He's a forward.
tall
What are you
forward.
talking
So look, he's the ruck of the 21 to 22, probably for the next 3 years as well.
Yeah, I would have thought.
He's the man of the moment, probably best on the last 2 games.
You got my vote.
Who got it this week? Who got the players? Track got the 10 coaches. Who got the player? The fans?
Hurts, Nibbler.
Nibbler.
Yeah.
How doesn't Jacko get a mention there? Second. And who about the week before?
You've missed the mark on this call, but
I know,
that's okay.
No, it's poor podcasting. But in my eyes, because I'm a ruckman and I'm a tall forward, I think he's been best on the last 2 weeks. So you gotta hit him up with the first one.
Yes, I mean, well, it sounded like you were just a huge run up to a question you're about to ask.
No, I was just pumping him up.
Pumping him up. Okay, well, it's probably a good place to start because Max has obviously given you a huge pump up. You've been learning off him. I would say it's not a coincidence that your form's been so good. So what's it? He's ignore the fact he's sitting right there and just talk to me.
I can leave the room if you want.
What's he been like? Because I've got my own opinions. Working with him in a podcast sense.
Yeah.
What about from a professional point of view? How are you finding he's your teacher? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd say he's definitely a teacher.
Yep.
I'm just trying to be a sponge, I reckon, and just soak it up. Like my second year, and just trying to learn as much as I can. So, I'll continue to be a sponge, I reckon.
Yeah, it's a
great answer.
Great answer.
Yeah.
You're a pretty good sponge as well, by the way.
Yeah.
I would
I'll
have
just
thought.
soak in.
Yeah, soak in the knowledge.
Yeah.
It's good
I'll
to
say
know.
vice versa. Is that the same? Vice versa.
As in, you're also a sponge.
I'm a sponge to him.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
I'm
And then it
learning
works.
so much off him, including
Oh, what's something you've learned? Go on.
trying to find a different planet to live on.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been off that topic a bit lately, but
Have you? So for those that don't know, I mentioned it the other day that during a training session you thought it was best to bring up that we should try and find another planet. Have we?
yeah.
What's your searches got?
Yeah,
to?
I've been off it a bit lately, but
Yeah.
last year in the hub, obviously bored in Queensland.
Yeah.
And, I was just trying to think, always fascinates me stuff out there,
like space.
universe, and we're this little planet and there's other things out there.
100%.
And I came across planets that are similar to Earth and came across this planet called Kepler-B26, something like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
And Earth's 70% water. Is it?
Yeah,
And what's,
so,
and what's Kepler
Kepler's
C2B2?
70% land.
Okay.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That'd be
And
less
you can,
surface.
and they've spotted it through a telescope 50,000, no, not 50,000.
Light years, maybe.
Light years, something away.
Is it in a science book or is that a conspiracy type?
No. That's accurate.
That's
100%. That's straight from the.
They found it through a telescope.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Do you reckon COVID has made its way there?
No, it absolutely
Nah.
cannot have.
But if we can find a way there, I'd
You go.
recommend we go.
Yeah, I think that's now we're talking intergalactic.
Is that the
Yeah.
finals hub maybe?
type stuff potentially? Certainly
Me and
could be.
Lingers were talking about this before the game. We're so
game just gone?
insignificant.
Yeah.
Like,
So what do we like? Yeah. So why don't we just go out and win?
Yeah.
Sort of thing.
Let's just have fun with what we're doing,
So add that to the list. So you've got astronomy, philosophy.
Yeah.
I also know you've got an interest in but marine biology.
Yeah.
And I know Max is your role model. You've got a
Yep.
few tattoos. You want was it a blue whale?
Yeah,
Whale
I was
shark.
going to, in the bio break, go swim with whale sharks.
Yeah,
So I
so-
was going to get a little whale shark on my quad, but
Little
Yeah.
whale shark tattoo.
Well, a lot of ruckmen do have stickers, is what they're called. Those
Yeah.
they're tattoos where they're not James Harms-esque and Nathan Jones. They're called stickers.
Okay.
Unfortunately, Josh Bruce, who's just gone to Venerico, he's a big sticker man. But
Yep.
the ruckmen like Tom Hickey,
Laddams.
Laddams, I'd like to come up for a few more, but I've just got a brain fade.
That's all
But
right.
I can see Jack off a little.
So what? Yeah. So what? You just love the water animal. Like, talk to us
Yeah.
about that. Always have.
The land
or-
animals as well, but more water, I reckon. Just they just amaze me.
Is that from you living in Perth, growing up in Perth, sort of thing? Because there's
Yeah.
it's Exmouth, is it? Have you ever been to Exmouth?
No, I actually never have been Exmouth, but
You should go
if
there.
it wasn't for COVID, I would have been Exmouth.
Oh, is that where you were going to go
Yeah.
diving? Yeah.
Yeah.
Sick. Well, that's
you've
interesting.
been to the zoo by yourself, is that correct?
Coles, I reckon.
Not in Melbourne.
Not in Melbourne.
Nah.
Perth too.
Yeah.
Have you been to Melbourne Zoo? Yeah,
Yeah, with Cos.
with Cos. How was that?
Nah, good.
What's your
There was a
favourite?
pelican in the zoo. They can fly, can't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And there was a pelican with no,
So they were just trusting
Close.
that it wouldn't
Yeah.
leave.
so they
Crazy.
could have
Trained. Maybe it's a trained pelican.
How does that work?
Well, I think it's like an animal thing. in terms of you can train an animal. You can.
To stay in its...
So the pelican must be trained.
Pelican would know that it's like, okay, if I I'm getting it 2 meals a day here, I've got my own territory, and why would I leave?
should chuck a piece of crust over the...
I don't think you're. Are you allowed? I don't think you.
No, I wouldn't risk it.
What's your favourite land animal?
There's a lot. I can't say it.
Yeah, you
that's
can't
alright.
narrow it down.
Yeah.
So irrespective of that, back onto the tattoo.
Yep.
What you have to wrap your head around is if you get that tattoo, you'd have to leave Sticks and Deb's, my parents' house, because
Is that a rule?
If you were living there, you'd been kicked out. What was your
What
first?
if I just wore pants
party
the
like
whole
a
time?
play like a, what do you got on your
Work
foot?
like a captain, play like a pirate.
Play like a pirate. You would have been gone. Pack your bags. It's been a real pleasure. See you
Got that
later,
on
Max.
Mad Monday 2012.
Okay, well, but you know that Sticks has been honest with you and upfront about that.
Yeah.
So I mean, you got that to figure out. But you have been living with my parents for what's it been? Nearly 2 years now.
Sorry to hear.
Yeah.
I know it's so talk to us about that because Sticks is no good. Deb's
It's actually been great.
yeah.
The food, I reckon,
Yep.
is probably the best bit.
Who's the cook? Six?
Deb.
Stixie does his barbecue. Gets
Yeah,
the barbecue
Stixie
going.
does the steaks and they're amazing.
Yep.
We did cook last year, but that got scrapped.
They did a bit of Hello Fresh.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. And then
That's not cooking, is it?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
they send you the ingredients.
Oh, so it's not a microwave pack.
No.
Oh,
You
okay.
like it's all. Well, what do you? How would you?
it would probably take you about 40 minutes to
Oh, so it's
serve
cooking.
up a meal.
Generally
Yeah.
cooking. Yeah.
It's like all
Yeah.
raw ingredients.
For the whole crew? For
Yeah.
Sticks and Deb as
Yeah.
well?
So I mean, what's like top thing you've learned how to cook from Deb? If you move out of home, what would you?
Just like a stir fry in the pan.
little stir
Yeah.
fry.
Just chuck everything in the pan and
Let it sizzle away.
You're confident with chicken?
yeah.
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 Jeez, that's a.
If you're confident with chicken, you're a good cook.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be confident.
I don't think I was
chicken.
chicken confident leaving my.
I still don't think I
I'll
am.
be fine moving out, I reckon.
Yeah, right.
Tacos on Tuesday.
Yep, Taco Tuesday.
Pasta before a game.
So you've got
Spaghetti?
2 days.
Yeah.
That's 2 days out
Yeah.
of 7.
That's easy spaghetti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uber Eats one night and then
3 out of 7 sorted. Stir fry.
stir fry in the
There's
pan.
4.
Paella.
Paella once a week. That's it. Paella's a big dish and it doesn't take a long time.
I don't think we ever had. When's the last time you had paella?
I went to Aussie's for dinner
Okay.
and Aussie's mum cooked a massive paella pan and
Yeah, right.
So
I've loved
therefore
it
you'd be
ever
able to
since.
cook it, you reckon?
yeah, I reckon.
I've missed an invite to a Rux dinner there.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, I think it's a
I was
Sandy
the
thing.
second
That's the
smallest in that house that
Yeah.
night, I think. Yeah. Aussie's
his-
brother's like 6 foot.
Is his
10.
mum smaller than you? Is that?
Yeah.
Yeah, his dad's obviously.
Yeah, his
Massive.
dad's.
So you've enjoyed it. I mean, it sounds like you're moving out soon though, but you've enjoyed living
Yeah.
there.
No, it's been a great run. I'm going to miss it
Yeah.
when that day comes.
Yeah, it's going to be tough.
Who's there? So Jacko, Riv, and Disco.
Disco.
Yeah.
Well, Riv's not really there anymore
Not a lot, no.
because he's sort of left.
Yeah.
He's moved on to.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think I'm breaking any news stories. He's got a
He
girlfriend.
does have a
and,
girlfriend.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, Deborah runs a tight ship, so there's not a lot of that stuff going on, and so he's had to put the away shorts on a few times, and good on him. You know, all power to him. But Disco's moved in.
I can tell Disco loves it. Like,
Yeah.
he just loves the joint.
Yeah, it's
Well-
a good joint. There's a spa and a
Yeah.
pool and stuff, and ping pong out the back.
Yeah.
If I'm a mentor and a teacher to Luke, Luke has now become a mentor and a teacher to Disco.
How's that
Yeah.
going?
I would say he's under my wing, I
Yeah.
reckon, Disco. Like,
Yeah.
I'm showing him what
Showing
it
him the
takes.
ropes.
Yeah.
He
What it
brought him.
takes.
We do ruckcraft early main training morning.
Yeah.
Early start, 7:15 start.
Uh-huh.
And Dogga's brought Disco.
Goes
Disco's
a ruck craft.
he had no other way of getting to case. He said Disco's out there training to be a ruck as well. So we might have a 192 centimetre,
Yeah.
192 to 2 centimetre ruck. Going well, Disco.
Yeah, well, I mean, he also comes to. You've also brought him to our Win the Morning sessions,
Yeah.
which
Yeah.
you're vice
We need
president
to
of.
speak Win the Morning. Like
Yeah.
Vice president of Win the Morning.
you're the runner. So you're the Gary Pert.
Yeah, I'm
type setup.
CEO.
You're
Yeah.
the CEO, but he's the face. He's the Christian Petraka. He's
Yeah.
the star.
And very much nurtured. Like I'm sort of we're working. We've got a good working relationship in the morning.
Yeah,
Don't
we do. Yeah. I'm starting to send out the messages.
Yeah,
So
right.
starting
I have seen that.
Starting to marshal the troops.
Yeah.
For those who at the end of the year, I'm going to get a big PowerPoint of all the so we
Yeah.
do a session in the morning. It's called Win the Morning. because you go in there, you work hard, you win the morning, and then the rest of the day's yours. So you win the morning, win the days. The story behind that one. And we get a photo after every
I
session.
don't even know how it started.
Oh, and then Dogga, but Dogga's, you're posing. So I reckon in a different life you could have been a world championship bodybuilder, Mr. Olympia, because he's posing, and it'll all come out one day. I'll put all the photos together, and your posing is
Unbelievable.
it's about as funny as it gets.
You're getting bigger.
Yeah.
What did you get drafted at?
91,
And what are you now?
101.
Hey, Allah.
So what's your favourite upper body exercise? Because you've been winning the morning all year.
Definitely when you're on the chair back and just like that.
It's like the biceps.
Alternating biceps.
And you've got a few veins going. So
Yeah, I do.
you've really developed in that space.
He's got a few. So he's a few 3, would you say?
Well, I can see one right now. Just
Oh,
about. Yeah, 3. You get one going through your shoulder as well.
So that's 2 more than you.
Yeah,
I
I've
want
got
that
one
T-Mac,
per arm.
That T-Mac vein where it's like that thick.
Yeah, he's
Who's got the
very-
best veins? T-Mac's up there.
T-Mac.
T-Mac when he's lifting weight.
Weeds.
Yeah, Weeds looks good when he lifts weight.
Well, so Weeds
looks
wins
good
the
when he
morning.
doesn't lift weights.
Weeds just looks good.
Yeah.
Flat out.
So you'll move out soon, you reckon?
Yeah. Next year I'll be at a different place.
By yourself or with Riv and Disco type setup?
We'll see.
Cozzy?
We'll see. Yeah,
Is he gonna
maybe.
look in?
Yeah. Toby, maybe. We'll
Toby,
see.
yeah. It's
New
that,
names.
is that young with me?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Wow.
Well,
Yeah.
we're
Get under his wing.
we're expecting. Jess is still pregnant.
True. There's time.
Yeah.
You could be would you be a babysitter? Would you babysit? Don't
Yeah, maybe.
Doesn't sound like he wants that responsibility. To be fair, you're 20, so he's not ready for a kid.
Yeah.
No, probably not. Serious question. Living away from home, difficult?
Nah.
All right.
Yeah.
You're obviously enjoying Melbourne.
Yeah, Melbourne's great.
You said to me something the other day that Melbourne's now overtaken Perth,
Yeah, I reckon. Yeah.
but you haven't experienced Melbourne out of COVID.
Yeah, I reckon-
COVID.
No, we have. We went for remember that? Oh, the I Love Melbourne.
yeah, we
Chris,
did a
this
whole
guy's name's-
street.
Oh,
yeah,
did you?
his name's Chris. He runs these tours through Melbourne. So
He has the Melbourne I love
I love
you.
Melbourne.
I think he's a listener.
I know he is
Yeah.
because I get
And he comments
as the
on
social media.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Chris is
he's
if
great.
you're listening, Chris, we're talking about you specifically right now. And Deborah,
Yes.
my beautiful mother, took
Yes. I
some
know Deb.
initiative and
Friend
brought
of the
us all,
podcast.
a friend of ours,
Yeah.
and the 4 of us. So you, myself, Trent, and Cozzy just walked through the city, and Chris gave us this beautiful tour. So he's
And you fell in love with there. What, like a
Just
Flinders,
street art and
what's it
that's
called?
something I would enjoy, I reckon, street art.
yeah. You'd be good at it too. I reckon.
That's
So
Brody
we-
Grundy-esque.
Is it?
Yeah, who's another idol of yours.
Yep.
Yeah.
True
But
like
you know,
that.
we went into all the nooks and crannies, and Dogga just I could see you falling in
Yeah.
love with it. To be fair, it's an unreal tour. If you haven't done it, you should go and do it.
Well,
Have you done it?
I've lived in Melbourne a long time. Well, in fact, all 30 years of my life.
Yep.
And I have been all through Melbourne, but I should do the tour.
Well, that's what I said to Deborah. I was like, Mum, you realise I've been living here for the majority of my life, and she said, Angus, because I can get stubborn sometimes. I don't think that's a surprise to you, Max. But I was like, and she's like, don't be stubborn, just go and do it, and you'll love it. And I did. I truly did. So you love the city, it sounds
Yeah.
like.
And I was hardly in Melbourne last year and I already love it. So imagine when I'm here.
Well, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
Well, I hope it doesn't let you down once we open up. Well, let's put it to bed then. Luke Jackson's going to be in Melbourne for the rest of his career. Done. Well
So
done.
would you, geez, after footy, would you move back to Perth or would you stay here? That's the,
That's a big call.
It's hard to say yet. I
Yeah.
reckon.
It's
I mean,
about 50-50 from
I want
people.
to experience Melbourne more, like down south and
yeah.
all that
Well,
kind of
Yeah,
stuff.
down my way.
down his
Yeah,
way.
it's a good part of the world.
Up north,
They go to a few
What's up
wineries.
north?
not sure.
Yeah, but you want to experience it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what, we can get Ed Langdon to take you to the north side,
yeah.
get around Fitzroy.
Surfing trips with Ed.
Yeah. You'd have to go down south for them.
Can you surf? You can boogie board. We know that.
Yeah.
We almost lost Luke last
Oh,
year.
mate, I saw it happen with my own 2 eyes.
In the Manly swell,
I was,
I gave up on him. He was done. He was that far out on a boogie board.
to be fair, that was the week where, like, I think there was like a cyclone or
A
something.
decade's
with
best
a
swell in Manly.
Like, unbelievable swell. Dogga took it
Yeah.
upon yourself to get out of the back. Not the smartest decision you've ever made.
Nah, it was gnarly. It was gnarly.
It's about a 50-50 rate how many people go home after they, like interstaters that get drafted.
Yep.
So Jack Trengrove went home, Luke Tapscott stayed.
Yep. That's fair.
We go through multiple. Michael Evans, who's another one of my friend from Perth. He's stayed in Melbourne, hasn't gone back to Perth. And he only was in Melbourne for 3 or 4 years as a player. So most people fall in love with the city. But some do go back. We've been told that Alex Neil-Bullen is almost definite to go back, or he thinks he is.
Yeah, well, I mean, that individual case
Correct.
by
Will you go
case
back
by
to Perth?
case. Yeah, I'll probably be one of those ones who goes back.
Were you
Dogga.
born in Perth?
Yeah, born and raised, brother.
Yeah.
We're from
Yeah.
this.
So you reckon you will go back?
Nah, it was a joke. I love Melbourne. Unless Royal Melbourne finds a way to make its way to Perth somehow, I don't think that's possible.
Well, we stayed at a nice golf course, Joondalup Country Club.
Country
During
Club.
the lap.
Yeah, Joondalup, sorry.
Yeah,
Sorry
not
for the
Joondalup.
pronunciation.
If Dogga's correcting you now.
Fun fact about the hub, Stephen May on the whole day off was just watching people tee off.
That's a depressing fact.
Behind a
Less of
fence,
fact, more
behind
a
a
real
fence.
depressing fact.
A few of the boys, apparently there was a Bucks trip that were teeing off and they were getting into Maisie.
Spewing
What I think was a missed opportunity from the Eagles is they should have booked the tee time
and played all
and
of them,
played
yeah.
while we were in quarantine. That would have been
It was
hilarious.
good though. We had a basketball court and
We had a basketball court, a tennis court, which was the same court. And Goody's a big runner and walker and likes his own time and likes to get out. He was caught. He did 15,000 steps in the car park one morning.
that's strange.
That's pretty grim.
You put some work in though on the court.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a surprise. People know your story. You've obviously come from a basketball background. You had offers from Division 1 colleges,
A few, yeah.
and it shows. It really shows when we play pickup basketball as a team. Luke Jackson and I played. We were 2-on-2, and we
Yeah.
were a 2,
Yeah.
and we dominated.
Yeah.
See, I need to see that because I've told him that I don't see the Aussie under 18 yet. Out of his stuff that he's done at training,
Yeah.
just throwing the ball,
That's
I see,
fair, though.
I see him as a rep level, like plays in the
Okay.
plays for Sandy. I thought it's Sandy Sabres.
So let me just put you in my
I
mindset.
got a reason for that. Like
Yeah.
warm ups, I was a rebounder.
Yeah.
I got after it.
Yeah.
Can't really get after it.
Yeah,
Mate, that's
okay.
what-
okay.
when
You're
you're
a hustler.
when you're on Dogga and my level,
Yeah,
like
No.
we're fading away.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
we're just having a bit of fun.
you're not at his level.
I'm a pretty good.
If
step.
he's
I've
Sandy
got a good step
Sabres,
back.
if he's Sandy Sabres, you're Sandy Bullets, which are the domestic
So,
team.
on our friendship, I've got a really nice shooting stroke, don't I?
Yeah, you have a straight motion, which
Yeah.
I love.
You're a flat shooter.
Arc?
Sorry, straight as in like I've got a good shooting mechanic,
Oh, okay, sorry.
as opposed to how you just.
I'm
go,
talking ball flight. He's pretty straight.
Nah, he's got a big Dirk Nowitzki arc.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'll shut up.
Yeah, you probably should.
You got much more for Dog?
Look, mate, I wanted to ask about interests outside of the club. You're doing a business diploma as well.
Yeah, got to finish that.
How's that one going?
I need to complete more of it, so need to finish it before the season.
It'll be handy to have that for the cafe.
The cafe,
Yeah.
I was about to say.
Yeah, so I'll get on to that.
Something that got sent in by Ben Gibson, actually.
One of our listeners.
Well, one of our listeners, B. Gibson.
Gibby.
being F night last year up in the hub.
Yeah.
Best first year player. Great speech from, you weren't there, but great speech
I
from all
was-
reports.
I was.
Dogga apparently told everyone to be quiet and he sung Beyonce's Single Ladies.
Yeah.
Word for word.
Missed a couple.
Yeah.
Or just the
missed a
chorus?
couple, Yeah.
One
just
of
the
your
chorus.
favourite songs?
Yeah. Beyonce's good, the Queen. So
Yeah. She and do you have the dance moves down too?
Nah.
Just
Yeah.
just belted the chorus
Just
out.
took the mic and off I went.
What's your favourite song? Is it one of those? I bet you it's one of those rap ones.
Just Beyonce or anyone.
Just anyone.
Um,
It's a rap one,
nah,
isn't
you
it?
can't put me on the spot like that.
Yeah,
is
that's
it-
harsh.
Is it? You're listening to a bit of rap at the moment,
Yeah. Cause he's got me into rap.
so it's either Beyonce or rap.
Yeah.
To be fair,
Nah, scrap Beyonce. I don't know where Beyonce is. I did not listen to
if
Beyonce.
Beyonce's sorry Beyonce,
Yeah,
I know
she
she's
is a
listening.
listener. I've got one more. The story around your teeth.
Yeah.
Why? So for those that don't
Pop it
know, your
A
front.
lot of people have been asking about it lately. Like, I have a fake tooth.
Yep.
Just wear this every day.
Just smile to the camera.
Yeah.
So when did it fall out as a kid or?
Nah, just was going back with the flight. I think like year 5, and
of course you were.
year ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, right. It
And
just
then
chipped
I don't
out.
know how that one stayed in, but yeah.
Just one, just clean out.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
I need to get wisdom teeth out at the end of the season, so I might just get implants then as well.
No, you just do it all at once. Why
Get
you
these two
knocked
screwed
out?
up. Yeah.
I reckon it looks good.
Yeah.
2 birds with 1 stone.
Two birds. That's a great saying.
Another great saying.
You got a saying for us?
Nah.
No, that's putting him on the spot.
Sayings are overrated anyway, I reckon.
Well, we've done a good half an hour start with Jacko.
Yeah, it's been unreal. Look, to be honest, you had to come back. You were starting a long way back because you burnt us.
Yeah.
The apology was really good. Everyone would remember the video apology.
Yep.
But this has been one of my more enjoyable interviews, I would have thought.
Yep. And on a serious note, we're both very proud of how you're playing.
Yeah.
And the person you are. You haven't changed one bit since you've come through the doors. And by this interview, I think everyone would agree that you're a pretty funny but a well-educated young man who's going to do some good things for the Demons.
Oh, couldn't agree more. So
Thanks for coming on.
Thank you,
mate.
fellas.
Thanks
Privilege.
for coming on. Looking forward to potentially the second time.
Yeah. How sweet is redemption?
That's so good.
And we'll be back after this.
Thanks to our co-principal partner and podcast sponsor, Zurich Insurance. For over 100 years, they've been insuring the people and things you truly love. And just like you, they truly love footy and they truly love the D's.
Welcome back. Just before we get to Gibbo, we've got to thank the tier ones.
That's Zurich. I'll live on Lock, obviously. Bailey Fritsch Electrical.
Olive Atlock.
I'll live at Lock.
Bailey Fritsch Electrical
Really
and
should-
Fat Nut Customs.
And our customers, we've got
We
some
all know
second
about the
tier and third
deals.
tier stuff.
We all
Yeah.
know about the deals that all four of them present.
Yep,
And then
no
the
need to go
second
over
tiers who deserve one mention on the podcast.
That's Barbie Onions and East End Wine Bar
Yep. And then the tier threes, which we're in work with up in Bega.
up in Bega. That's what there's something in the works there in Bega. The Bega Fasteners and Industrial Fittings.
And
That's
obviously Squash.
Clutch and Co.
We're trying to get onto Watsy to see if we can get a pair of squash balls.
hard to
in
pin
here or
down.
something.
Friend of ours.
Yeah, he's a great friend of ours.
So we could have something there potentially. And obviously Lane and Coffee Merchants, which seems to be, that's on life support, that one. But I'm trying my
That's
darndest.
all the mentions they get.
We got some positive Linger stuff coming later though.
We do, but first we've got the news of Gibbo.
Gibby.
Gibby.
Good to have you.
I've
Was that
copped
me
that
last
from a
week?
couple of people.
Yep.
since
So I
last
accidentally
podcast.
called him that at the
Gibby.
end of last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's how.
Yeah.
on camera.
Trent Rivers went with that early days.
Did he?
Yeah. It didn't stick, but
Well, it hasn't. And
Really?
we thought it was going to stick post this, but it probably hasn't. That's the first time we've said it since.
Have you bumped into anyone? So the thing is, if he was just living his life, walking around the streets, and a listener had,
Well, I
had
must
bumped
say,
into him,
I think what we've just done, the quarantine 7 days, is very similar to the Ben Gibson life normally. We sat down and had a great lunch one day in the hub, and we talked all things Gibson.
okay.
we did have a good chat. Melky enjoyed it too.
Melky enjoyed
He
it.
was fascinated.
So
I think we're all
Gibson,
fascinated.
Gibson's a different cat with the way he lives, which I admire and respect for someone
Well,
to
you're
not be a conformist.
You're a different cat.
Yeah,
As
so-
well. So I think that's a mutual respect.
Doesn't drink alcohol, doesn't drink coffee, doesn't punt, which are three very good
don't drink
behaviours to
coffee.
have. Yeah, but the other two,
But I'm not a massive punter. I'd
yeah, but not massive compared to never.
never. Yeah.
I have placed a bet before. I'm just not a regular.
Oh,
so
well,
we've
like a
busted that myth
$5
straight
away.
each
I
way in
also
the Melbourne
said-
Cup or something.
I also said I like coffee. I just don't drink it.
Okay, so I've struggled
But
to
then
start.
The eating part was
Yeah.
where it got
So he's
interesting.
never ordered Uber Eats, never had anything delivered.
That was the thing that caught Melky. So I don't have the app, to be honest. I
okay.
moved out last year in December, so it's a small sample size.
Yep.
But I haven't ordered, and I'm a terrible cook. 'Cause after the game on Monday night, we got all our food, and Track goes, didn't think you had takeaway. So I said, I'm happy to eat other things. I just have never ordered it.
So I
to
might
my
be more
house.
of a cash in pocket type, like similar to you, a bit stingy on the wallet.
I love Uber Eats.
Yeah, but you are well known to be stingy on the wallet.
There's no difference. Like I'm paying for my food at Woolworths, but I'll just cook it myself. You can sort
Sure.
of control what you.
But
Yeah,
then
what you're
how he
having.
eats his dinner as well. So,
So it's not much of a, sit down, have it all at one time. First week whilst I lived at home, I was like, all right, I'm going to eat at my dinner table every night. Haven't had dinner there once since, because if I'm preparing veggies or something, which are rare, I'll eat them whilst I'm cooking my steak or something like that. So I'll only end up with the steak on the plate
doesn't
at the end.
serve it all on a plate.
Okay.
Eats it as he goes.
That's just efficient.
Efficient's not the word that comes to mind for mine.
Look. Jeez, I'm trying to. Let's be positive. It all ends up chewed up in your guts anyway. So
Exactly
who
right. That's
cares
my
what-
logic. I'm not a lover of food. I don't.
Doesn't sound like. it.
Yeah, so it doesn't excite me. So I'm not going to order a fancy Uber Eats meal because I wouldn't really enjoy it. So I'll just get it in me, top me up.
Self-proclaimed sports nerd and workaholic, and that is basically what sums up your life. Loves his cricket,
You're holding hands with everyone.
No, not holding hands with anyone.
Okay.
and we've worked out that it's not a family trait because his sister was at my wine bar
Yeah.
not too long ago.
Yeah. Well, geez. I'm different from my brothers, I guess, in different ways. Gibbo, look, all power to you, mate. And is it now like a moral thing? I'm not ordering Uber Eats because that's my thing, or
not a moral thing. If I feel like it,
I
might.
Taken to
maybe at some point I will.
I said, have you ever ordered takeout? And he goes, yeah, one time 3 years ago, my friends came around and we got a pizza. I'm like, geez, that's very specific.
Far out. Far out.
No, that's an exaggeration because I told you I moved out late last year. But
I hate when my story gets just...
Anyway, you've got news, I'm sure.
We do have news. So coming out of the game, Salo actually got a $1,000 fine for tripping Sheed.
What did he do?
He tripped Sheed.
Did he? What? So, yeah, keep going about the fines.
I was going to go into it's been a big couple of days for MRO tribunal. So your brother, any news on whether he's going to challenge that? A week's been held against him.
Jeez.
No morning call yet?
No, we spoke. There was, let's just say, outrage on the family chat line. So essentially, I don't know if you know. It's
is your brother an eye goucher? That's what we want to know.
Well, exactly. No, he's not. That's the family.
That's a family. We've worked out that things don't run in the family.
That's the line of questioning. Was straight out Andrew Brayshaw. Are you an eye gouger? No, I'm not. And now I can't. Yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to go into the pitfalls of the MRO. Sounds like you're about to though. So what else is?
Oh, so Toby Green's obviously got one that's been a bit of a talking point.
How was he in that? Hey, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do it.
Are you going to throw Brayshaw and Green? Were you going to make comparisons?
They both got 1 week.
Both great players.
Similar players.
So the weight. I'm not going to do it. What else is there?
Well, Mason Redmond got off. We'll move on. Talk a little bit.
Mason Redmond got off.
Did Elio get something for?
No. I didn't see. I just clicked on the article about our game.
I haven't seen it, but Harmsy was in outrage at court.
There was a photo of his forearm pressed on Tom Sparrow's neck.
Yeah. Well, Vine's got 2 weeks for that. I think it's. I'm not going to say it. Yeah. I'm not going to say it.
I think you already have. Injuries for Adelaide, so they're going to be missing 3 this week. Riley O'Brien, you won't be up against him.
I've got a great track record at picking which ruckman plays the week coming. So our
we've got a terrible track record.
Terrible on the podcast, but our statistician works in IT. He's our midfield man, Ollie Hurd. He and me we do a centre bounce presentation on the Thursday, and we try and pick which rucks
he and me
will be there. And I've got a great track. Like I've had a feeling Vardy would come in on the weekend. I had a feeling Zach Smith would come in the Gold Coast game, and Ollie went the other way and didn't put Vardy or Zach Smith. So I'm 2 from 2. I said Riley O'Brien, shoe in, absolute, and then he's been pulled out of an injury last night. So Ollie's got this one back. They do have a young fella, Strachan, and Himmelberg, and Billy Frampton, that are all over 200 centimetres, that all can play. So there'll be someone that will keep me and Dogga honest.
Will Hamill and Brodie Smith also out with concussion.
I was about to say that's way too much time spent on one injury in and out.
We can talk about all rucks if you want. I can go on.
So there's been some retirements in recent days. Stephen Hill, Mark Murphy, Patrick Ambrose just announced his.
Really?
Yeah. Tom Lynch, so he's not going to be offered another contract with Adelaide. So
still playing?
He played on the weekend, so could have 2 games left. So he'll be hoping to go out on a good note. Other news is the 22 under 22 squad, which you mentioned a little earlier with Jackson. We've got 5 in there. So
who are we talking?
I'm thinking Rivers will get in. I'm thinking Cozzy's a lock. Jackson's a lock. JJ in very good form. Harrison Petty's the one that I want in.
So who's he competing with?
He's got some good names. So he's got Ridley. I think he'll make it, but you could put him to half back maybe, the flank.
Who are the key backs?
Ballard, Taylor from GWS. He's a lock.
It's handy with the week that he just had.
Yeah, he's a very good player. McCartan.
I was going to say McCartan, yeah.
So CJ from the Hawks. So there is competition, but I reckon it's a fan-voted thing. I think the Deeds fans should get behind Harry Petty.
Have we ever had 5?
I don't think so. There's
the
only
Petrarca, Brayshaw, Oliver era. What do we have then?
3.
I guess in all 3.
Yeah, so it would be good to get them all in. A lot of competition. It's a good squad, but
we have a great track record at getting fan-based movements off the ground. I think obviously positive.
I haven't heard anyone talk about Waitman or Georgiades' mark. Yeah, it's all about Jack Riewoldt.
We're a huge Jack Riewoldt podcast, so that's great. And hopefully this is another one, because I'd say all 5 deserve potentially. If they were picked based on merits, I mean, you could mount a strong case for each one.
Correct, in good form and a good team. So
can we talk about your debut?
You can talk about my debut if you like.
It spooked me. I'll be honest.
For those that have got a good eye and watched the game, late start, 8:10 in Melbourne, and got to live even later when we had a 2-hour last quarter. But B. Gibson was running water.
Gus was rattled just before the bounce.
Yeah, I remember sort of looking at it, I was like, oh my, whoa. and you had the full kit on. You were decked out.
Yeah, I was real
you
told
have boots?
pre-game. No, I didn't have boots.
It's your runners.
So and it was wet. So
Yeah.
that was probably there were two things I was nervous
You
about.
didn't slip over, did you?
slipping
Yeah.
and obviously giving away a free kick.
Did you slip?
I didn't slip.
and no free kick
No free kick. So it was a good result. The third thing that I didn't anticipate, which happened,
is
was,
giving players water.
No, that was
Okay,
good.
you got
Forwards
that.
were very well hydrated.
Yeah.
So you have a little bag that has some things in it that I don't know what to do, like pickle juice, that sort of stuff. But you leave that on the boundary line when you run out. At quarter time, I brought it out and then had to run to the other side of the ground because I was staying with the forwards. And I got to like the boundary line and a glove fell out. I thought, that's annoying. Picked it up, sat down, and then I looked up and on the wing there was a glove and a bandage just laying not far from Ed Langton.
Oh, you've left some rubbish on the ground.
So I'm thinking there's a trail that's just sort of dropping behind me as I'm running along the wing. I'm thinking there's probably 30,000 people watching thinking this guy's an idiot. Unfortunately for us, but fortunately for me, West Coast got a free kick and a goal within the first 30 seconds of the quarter, bolted to the wing, picked it up, then just like drifted to Benny Brown and said, oh yeah, here you go.
Did you, in your journalism career, have you learnt anything more by being able to be out on the ground?
No, that's probably the best thing about just, I guess, doing different things all the time. And this job is actually getting an insight into football.
Yeah.
So you don't get to experience anywhere else. So I was absolutely putting my hand up. Closest thing I'm ever going to get to do to debuting in the AFL.
It shows what the hub's about.
Count yourself out,
doesn't
mate.
it shows what the hub's about. Everyone
chipping in.
helps out, every different role. Our property steward is one of the hardest working men at the club, in Jake Tracy. And he has one of the toughest jobs. And he had about 7 helpers throughout the whole hub.
Yeah.
Everyone jumps on.
For a necessity.
And
We
we needed someone to run water. And
Obviously desperate because I was sitting down with Steve and EJ at lunch one of the days, and they're like, "Oh, what's your your fitness like?" I'm like, "Pretty ordinary." And they're like, "Well, we're going to need you anyway."
they talk up a big game in terms of how hard it is, I think, EJ and Steve.
Your reflections?
6-goal first quarter. So
truth.
you probably do 50-meter sprint on and off. So
Yeah.
that's
Sprint?
Or sprint off. Or actually, yeah, both. Depends
Yeah,
how
okay.
long you're out there. Because if the ball's going up and you're still out there, you want to get off pretty quick.
100%.
So the first quarter tested me, and
Where
then
GPS out? I mean, how far? So 56s is...
yeah, there were 19
about 300
goals.
metres. Yeah,
So
that's true.
potentially nearly 2Ks.
My gut,
Which is the most I've done.
my gut
ever.
feels we've spent too much time on the Waterboy antics. So next.
Well,
Yeah,
the
fair
big
call.
the big thing this week, of course, is it's the round for reach. Now,
Yes.
always an important round for the Melbourne Footy Club.
There's a little
And
QR code.
we've got a badge here. The QR code is you can scan that and go online and donate. So $11 is the number that they're wanting. Obviously, Jim Stein's number, your number, a special week for
Paul
you.
Johnson's number. Mitch Clark's number. Troy Simmons got into 11. Very ruck flavoured number.
There you
Number
go.
11. Jacko's can't wait to go from 6 to 11, I hear. No, it's a great round. I've spoken about Jim a lot. I think especially in today's society and what's going on with COVID, if you had to pick an age group that COVID affects the most, you'd
Old
pick
people.
okay, that wasn't what I was going for, but an age group that I would least like to be involved in lockdowns and COVID would be anywhere from 15 to 21. Someone going through high school, someone wanting to see their friends.
Okay, so I understand.
yeah,
where
you've
you're going
misread
now.
that.
Sorry,
You've
yeah,
misread
yeah,
that
yeah.
completely.
Because young people need to be inspired.
Yes.
Told they can achieve anything they set their minds to.
So you obviously haven't done too much reading up about.
Well, no, sorry. When you said
the round
who's
for reach.
affected most by COVID, I'm going
correct,
to go
that
the
is
highest mortality rate.
Yeah, that is correct, and I'm sorry.
That's a me thing.
So
Sorry.
it is
Hands up.
important that charities like this exist, and Jim's philosophy of being the best person you can be, and creating the best young people, because young people end up being CEOs and end up running the country, prime ministers and whatnot. So to make sure they get the best youth they can, especially in this sort of environment and what we're going through, I think is really important. So I'm a big believer of reach. I'm a big believer of anything that Jim put his hands to, and I'll be pushing this as much as I can and donating some money as well, and hopefully everyone else can jump on. And
Yeah, we're usually pretty good at that as a podcast, getting behind causes. So all our listeners, throw your support behind it. We'll, I'm sure we'll put something together as a playing group as well.
yep,
This is one of our 3 big charities. So that's such a worthy cause.
and the badges are
QR
good.
code. Great badge.
Great badge.
These I haven't cheaped out on the badges.
No,
have they?
the badges are really good. They're quite
is,
big. They're quite big.
Yeah, I mean,
now my second favourite badge. I've still got my Cade Chandler badge, which is my favourite, but this is my second favourite badge.
So fans can go to the Demon Shop to get those. They can go to reach.org.au to donate. So $11 is the number. Looking to raise some funds and help put this cause into use. Reach
Yeah, I
Foundation.
we've done a few programs with them over the journey, and it's profound. I remember walking away from, I think we did one in particular where we went into the Collingwood base, and it was the most amazing experience. So the more of those sort of experiences young people we can fund, I think the better off we'll be.
You're done. Just quickly, you wanted to talk about my tweet.
Oh yeah, I feel like Dogga. I feel Dogga's now correcting you. I feel like it's a.
I think it's very common.
So my hypothesis is that it's less than common. So when the saying came out, I don't even know. Were you watching archery at the Olympics?
I think it sounds like a straightened arrow.
People don't know. Gawny tweeted, and the tweet went something along the lines of, just realise that it's not straightened arrow.
It's straight and narrow. Because I was reading Mad Jack's book, and it was in Mad Jack's book, Straight and Narrow.
Yeah.
He goes, someone got me on the straight and narrow. And I'm like, mind blown. I thought it was straight and narrow this whole time.
Straightened arrow. So that, you tweeted it, so I did my job for me in a sense. What we then sort of branched out and started speaking about was...
Is I've got a lot more wrong than just that.
Yeah, opened a can of worms. Some of these aren't exactly flattering.
Yep. I'm nip it in the butt. And apparently it's nip it in the bud.
Yeah, it's not apparently. It
apparently.
With absolute clarity has always been nip it in the bud, so we've learnt that one.
I'm a big statue of limitations. Once again, apparently not a statue.
So it's a statute.
Yeah,
with a T.
I think it's quite stupid, to be honest. What's a statute? No one knows.
A statute, yeah, okay, go on.
For all intensive purposes.
You didn't say that.
I've said it a couple of times.
All intensive purposes.
But apparently it's intense, which
intense
I think that's wrong. And I had one more, but I just can't seem to find it. So they're I think I'm right still. Like a straight and narrows.
A straight and narrow.
But if you can get back on the straight and narrow as well.
How?
Just think about it's a saying. They don't need to make sense, do they?
Well, there's always usually
I think
a story.
If people know what you mean, then it works.
Yeah.
So I'll pay it.
Well, I'm not saying so. If that's your logic, then yeah, sure, I've got no problem with that, because if I said the straight and narrow, like if I said, I got back on the straight and narrow, you would naturally assume
archery.
Yeah, no, you would know that what I'm talking about, because it's like a part of it. But what annoys me, I'm an etymology guy, and I like my words correct. There's something wrong with that, by the way. No, there isn't.
No, there isn't. And one other thing that I was teaching people throughout the hub is, did you know that on the toaster, the levels 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 usually goes to 7. Some toasters are just 1, 2, 3, the old school toasters.
Okay.
That's time in toaster, not level of heat.
Okay, I was always so I was a level of heat guy.
Yeah, it's time in toaster.
I was a level of heat
there
guy.
There you go. Yes, win for the little guys, hey?
Hey, I'm always happy to learn. I love learning.
I'm going to quickly finish. We don't want to go over 50, so quickly finish with positive
Eddie
wingers.
Langdon.
Yeah.
Segment.
Oh, we missed that.
That was terrible.
That's
He
okay.
first of all sent a video message to the fans.
Wasn't that great to see?
But he's engaging in the Instagram platform, which is what I love to see. Like,
How many nights at Attica do you guys owe him?
He does anything for us, doesn't he?
It's weird.
Took a few takes that one.
So
I've got two things.
hopefully he unblocks me.
One, he has proposed something to me. He has proposed that he will come on the podcast if you're not here. Which I'm weighing up, because I think that's a better option than not having him in. But we can
Agreed.
potentially hide you in the room.
So yeah, that's all. I mean, we're in no danger of getting found out. He's not listening to the podcast, so I can absolutely hide. The problem is, I'm not sure how it would go when I spring out. I'm like, surprise, it's me. I think he would just leave.
Yep.
The other thing to consider there is, and again,
You are the talent.
Hypothetically, if I was to still have his keep cup, he's up in
hypothetically,
he's up in arms about that. So
we must stress that's a hypothetical.
No one knows who has it really. I just know that Ed doesn't have it,
and we may know.
That
hypothetically.
Would if we did know, that would be great leverage. Yeah. So I'm working that angle hard, but I think he's softening. And a few people. It's funny, and I love when our people do this, because it warms my soul.
Yep.
Melbourne. You took the photo of Ed and I walking off and put it up on Instagram, and I reckon I got 5 comments. Maybe people like, "Oh, how good's this?" Unblock him Ed, please
Yeah,
unblock
that's
him
great.
and tagged him in it. And,
People were even crediting you to launching him.
yeah, oh, Matt, this is so beautiful, Angus. Like, you've got him up off the ground. You've resurrected his social media career. The least he could do is unblock you. Things of that nature. You should 100% come on the podcast. So people are really sending a strong social media message to Ed. And I think he's embracing the platform now. It has to be said. He's doing videos. I don't think he's put up another photo. I wouldn't know. I'm blocked.
Yep.
Does he follow you?
He does. And my last thing I wanted to touch on is he said when it was raining and windy pre-game, we were looking at it and he goes, Optus Oval, normally from my experience, handles the weather really well and you won't even know what's out there. And the warm-up was one of the more incredible things I've seen, where Jacko even said the ball couldn't hit his foot. I missed my set shots.
Honestly,
Josh Kennedy kicked 2 of the worst goals I've ever seen. The wind was doing all sorts and the rain was doing even more, and then the storm. So Langdon got that wrong.
A terrible take from Ed. He can defend himself when he comes on the podcast. That's a 50-minute podcast. That was a really good one. That was one of my favourite ones I think we've done.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you.
Thanks,
for coming
Steph.